Rescue Aces and Mikanko actually touch down and do some interesting damage to the OCG metagame this week. You guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. The first thing we're going to be looking at here is Rescue Ace. Now, I saw quite a few interesting Rescue Ace lists come out of the OCG this week, and I kind of had to take a step back here and go, wow, you know, this deck actually is performing contrary to popular belief. You know, we'll look at some other builds next week here, but the big thing with this deck that generates the advantage train is, well, Floodgates, and a card that says, hey, you can set 4 Rescue Ace quick play spells and or normal trap cards directly from your deck, but they have to all have different names, and it's set up to, so you can have a Floodgate running while navigating around this. We have 2 copies of Turbulence, which is going to be the guy that you can set 4. We have 2 copies of Fire Engine here. Then we have triple copies of La Fenrir. You have absolutely no reason not to play the new Pankratops. Triple copies of Intruder. We have 1 copy of Air Hoister. Then we have triple copies of Impulse. Then we have triple copies of the Gizmek Mananki. Man, they really do love this card. We have triple copies of Maxi. And remember, this whole deck does pretty much revolve around Hydrant here. When you control Rescue Ace, other than Hydrant, your opponent cannot target this card for attacks. And then also your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. And then once per turn, you can activate 1 quick play spell trap card to the turn you set it. And during your main phase, you can add a rescue monster from your deck to your hands. This is just recruits for anything that you really need. We also have 2 Prosperities. We have 2 Alert, which is the add from deck or graveyard to hand, depending on conditions. We have 1 of the Shark Cannon here. We have 1 of the Field Spell to shuffle back our resources to draw. Then we have 2 Contain, which is target effect monster opponent controls. It cannot attack and basically can't be, or can't do anything. And then if you also play 2 copies of Extinguish here, which basically pops an effect monster, and then they can't apply that effect. We also have triple Gozen, 2 Soul Drain with 2 Rivalry. Then we have 1 Almirage, 1 Link Kribo, 1 Union Carrier, 1 Sprite Elf, 1 Nightmare, 1 Heavy Metal Electromite, 1 Asa, 1 Hida, 1 Phoenix, 1 Blackluster, 1 Gigantic Sprite, 1 Mikhails with 1 Magnifica, 1 Kitagalos, and 1 Mirjade. Then we have triple Ghost Reaper, triple Raigeki, Harpy's Feather Duster, triple Evenly Matched, 2 Anti-Spell, and triple copies of Solemn Judgment here, wrapping up your Firefighter deck. Now, this is all a beasted Mikanko deck here. Now, Mikanko here all basically kind of revolve around this little interesting piece. You know, basically going to be doing a ritual monster that allows you to reflect damage off of your opponent. It's an interesting concept, to say the least. It definitely opens up some pretty interesting doors for what this deck wants to do, because evidently you can bypass summoning conditions here to beam this out. So we have 2 copies of the Beasted Dubellion, triple copies of La Fenrir, 2 copies of Druidworm, triple copies of Magnamut. Then we have 1 copy of Sarnir, triple copies of Mistraluber, 2 copies of Fallen of Albaz, triple copies of Ash Blossom. Then we have triple copies of Maxi, triple copies of Mikanko of the Ohime, 2 copies of Brand Infusion, 2 Pot of Prosperity. Then we have triple Preparation Rites. We have 1 Kagura, 2 copies of the Great Mikanko of Legend. Then we have 1 rebranded, 1 copy of the Purifying Dance of the Mikanko, 1 Inviting Rundown of the Mikanko. Then we have 2 Imperm and 1 Branded Beast. Extra deck here, we have 2 Heretic Heavenly Spheres, 1 copy of the Vassal, 1 Dampier Sheridan, 1 M7 with 1 Utopia Beyond, 1 Gaia Charge with 1 Zeus, and then we just have 2 Albion, 2 Lubellion, and 2 copies of Mirjade here. Down here, we have triple copies of the Big Ball, 1 Lava Golem, 1 Ninni, so we're actually playing 1 of the bodies down here. We have 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, then we have triple copies of the Arabesque. Equip monsters can be destroyed by card effects during the main phase, special to Mikanko from her hand or deck with a different original than the equipped, and equip this card to it, and then return the monster, equip this card to the hand, so it's a spot removal for the opponent's cards. And we have triple Evenly Matched, and triple copies of Solemn Judgment here, wrapping up our Mikanko Beasted deck. Now, this little Ghostrick list popped up a little while back, and I didn't get the chance to really talk about this. Yes, it is playing Calamity upon the Hidden City. Your opponent cannot target face-down defense position monsters you control with card effects. Monsters you control that were flipped face-up while this card is on the field gain 1,500 attack and defense. If this card is thrown in the spell and trap card zone is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, target 1 monster in your graveyard, special summon it in face-down defense position. This was probably one of the best solid support cards that we could have actually given to Ghostrick at this point, because it basically facilitates, you know, these cards actually having a purpose to flow. Now, is that still like an amazing option? It's something, man. It definitely gives Ghostrick a chance to play in the current format. It's not amazing, but you know what? You take it. So we have one copy of Ecclesia. We have one copy of Fleur de Lis. Triple copies of the Ghostrick doll. We have 2 copies of Ghostrick Fairy. 2 copies of Jinganshi with the 1 lantern. We have 1 copy of Mari. Triple copies of Siren. Triple copies of Law Fenrir. If you are not playing Law Fenrir right now, I think you're crazy in the OCG. We have 2 Lord of the Heavenly Sky Prison. 2 Nibiru. Triple copies of Book of Tayo. We have triple copies of Calamity Upon the Hidden City, 1 Ghostrick Mansion, 2 copies of Ghostrick Shot, 1 Adir Servant, 2 Prosperity. Then we have triple Dogmatica Punishment, triple Scare, and 2 Trap Trick. And then the extra deck here is very standard Ghostrick shenanigans. You know, we have 2 Festivals, 1 Utopic F-Zero, 1 Utopic Future Draco, 2 copies of So Cute Boss, 1 Dolahan, triple copies of Ghostrick Angel of Mischief, 1 Alucard, the 1 Zeus, the 1 Titanic-clad, and 2 copies of Anentis here. Wrapping up your Ghostrick creation, I would say here. This is definitely one of the cooler lists out here. I think you can pick up and have some fun with, honestly. All right. Holy crap. Now this is a kicker here. I saw that we were looking at actual Nephthys out here with Sprite. Now, I never really gave much of a consideration to having a ritual deck. Rebirth of Nephthys, this card can be used to ritual summon any Nephthys ritual monster. You must also tribute monster from your hand or field whose total level equal or exceed. And then if you tribute a Devotee of Nephthys or Cerulean of the Sacred Nephthys, you destroy a card on the field. Well, I mean, we got level 2 rituals out here. We can do whatever we with here. Ritual summon this card with the Rebirth of Nephthys. If this card is ritual summoned, you can special summon 1 Nephthys ritual monster from your hand or deck, except for the Conductor, and is treated as a ritual summon. If this card is tributed or destroyed by a Nephthys card effect, you activate this effect during your next standby phase, destroy up to 3 Nephthys cards, except for ritual monsters, 1 each from the hand, deck, or field. Oh, okay, so that lets me put my, you know, opponent on a timer here. Our other ritual monster here, same thing, ritual summon it with Rebirth. If it's ritual summon, you can activate the effect, special summon the Nephthys monster from your deck, also during the end phase of this turn, destroy that card. Well, you know, the fact we're just going to be filtering through the entire Sprite option tree here feels really good. So we have 1 copy of the Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys, triple copies of La Fenrir, 1 Ash Blossom. We have 1 Pixies with triple Jet, 2 copies of Sprite Red, triple copies of Sprite Blue, 1 copy of Sprite Carrot. We have 2 copies of the Matriarch of Nephthys, triple copies of Max C. We have 1 copy of the Chronicler of Nephthys, and then we have 2 disciples of Nephthys, 1 Dragon Buster Destruction Sword, and then we have 1 copy of the Cerulean Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys. So summon it with the same ritual. During the main phase, you destroy Nephthys cards from your hand and or face on the field. Destroy any or that equal number to your opponents. During your next standby phase, if this card is destroyed by a card effect, it gets to return back to the field. It's a 3K. All right, there's a lot to really consider there. We also have 2 Conductor, 2 Devotee, 1 Pre-Prep, 2 Preparations with triple Rebirth, triple Starter, 2 Call by, 1 Smashes. We have double IP, double of the Sacred Preserver, 2 Sprite Elf, 1 Unicorn, 1 Nephthys of the Sacred Flame, 1 Access Code, 1 Underworld, 2 Gigantic Sprites, 1 Sky Cavalry, 1 Downer, and 1 Zeus. Alright, last list we have for you guys today is Striker. It was kind of cool to see, like, Striker Adventure show up in the OCG. You don't really get the chance to see, like, cool things like this pop up, but it definitely caught my attention, so I figured we'd talk about this. We have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, triple Effect Veiler, and triple Ghost Ogre. Alright, easy stuff. We have triple copies of Sky Striker Ace Ray, 1 Rose, 1 Griffin Rider, 1 Aquamancer, 1 Called By, 1 Dracoback, 1 Faithful Journey, 1 Foolish Barrel, 1 Harpies Feather Duster, 1 Pot of Avarice with 2 Prosperities. We have 1 Rhoda, 1 Rite of Armesia, 1 Area Zero, 2 Afterburners, 1 Hornet Drones with 1 Shark Cannon, and we have 2 Widow Anchors, 1 Multi-Roll, 1 Engage, 1 Terraforming, 1 Talents, 1 Upstart, and triple copies of Infinite Permanence. Next deck here we have 2 Zeeks, triple Shizuku, 1 Kaina, 1 Kagari, 2 Hayate, 1 Celine, 1 Iria, that's interesting, 1 Dahark, and 1 Asa. We have 1 Axis Code Talker and 1 Baron. Man, this deck is really struggling out here. The loss of our dear friend Hulk really messed this deck up. We also have 1 Pinkertops, 2 Nibiru, triple Token Collector, triple Cosmic, 1 Eagle Booster, 1 Shark Cannon, 1 Zombie World, and triple copies of Dimensional Barrier here, wrapping up your chunk of OCG deck profiles. What do you guys think, please? So comment down below, tell me what you think, and, well, I'll see your beautiful faces back here later, guys. Or later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.